market from the bigger picture. This means we actually want to see a setup in your higher time frames for us to make better decisions when we move to the lower time frames. Right, so as you can see, I'm going to be explaining on the chart the reason why I wanted to sell this. So this is in the daily time frame, and moving over to the H4, as you can see, I just had my stop just above my entry point. As you can see, price had already reacted to that 800 EMA, the blue one. Right, so moving over to the H1 time frame, as you can see, this actually moved and we've actually hit our TP. Right, so we've just left some runners and for us to see if we can maximize our profits. Right, so this is the H4. As you can see, very interesting and a very clear trade. Very, very, very clear trade. But remember, no matter how good a setup looks, you should always manage your risk. Right, so now if we actually go to the chart itself, this is what we're going to see. Right. Oh, and by the way, we actually sent this to our VIP group. Right, as you can see, so there was the signal right there, and as I said, SL and TP given in screenshot above. Right, so this is what this was the signal which was sent, and I'm sure for those who were able to catch this trade, you guys definitely made good money. All right, so moving over to the chart itself, if we go to the daily, so let me just actually remove all the drawings so you guys can see it clearly. Okay, there we go. Okay, so looking at it from the daily time frame, one thing that we can see actually is price is coming from supply. Right, and remember, these are very good areas to keep an eye on. Right, so price is coming from supply. Right, and price had already moved or rather shifted in our direction, because remember, the goal is to trade away from the peak. So as you can see, we had this drop right there, which was actually 1 month of drop. Right, that was actually 1 month of drop as we are in the daily time frame. Right, so with this new month that we have, I mean, this is March. This is what I mean when I always talk about variations to the theme, right? Because last month, it did take a while for everything to play out, right? But looking at the new month, this is what you can see, right? Very, very aggressive moves in our direction. Right, so that's the H4. So one thing that I also saw right here is we had a 1350 crossover. Right here, the 50 MA is the blue one, the red is the 13. Right, that crossover, whenever you see that crossover, it actually tells us that the peak formation has been locked. And remember, our goal is to trade away from the peak. Right, so moving over to the H4 time frame, this is what I saw. So basically, I saw this aggressive move to the upside, after definitely hitting the stops around here. Right, so price went back, and something that I saw actually was we had a 50 and 200 crossover. So the anticipated trade that you can look for is a formation on the 200 EMA, which is the white one. So as you can see from there, that's where we actually had this whole trading idea. Right, so for some people who don't really have a good understanding of BTMM, whenever price comes to EMAs, I'm sure there was a bunch of people who actually went long right there. But remember, that's not the case. Right, we want to be in line with the market maker cycle, and we also want to make sure that we trade away from peak at all times. Right, so looking at the H1 time frame, this is what we had, a very good, the 800 EMA is like a price magnet, very powerful, right? Very powerful if you are, trading in line with the cycle and following a trading plan, right? Depending on your strategy, of course, because, you might have your own way of doing things, right? Which is still okay if it's working for you. So that's what I had. So in the H1, I actually saw this yesterday, and I identified the peak, right? This is the peak, which is highlighted in yellow, right here. right? That's our peak, right? Then we had 1 day of drop. Remember, 1 day of drop is one level of drop. Remember, we are trading the market maker cycle, right? So 1 day of drop can be seen as level 1, right? So coming into when I woke up in the morning, right? I mean, this was actually a nice trade because we didn't really break above the 50 MA. This is now in the M15. We didn't break above the 50 MA. We actually had our stop just above, that area right there, which was actually our high of the day, right? So as you can see, the dealer failed, to break or go above, that high of the day. So that's where my entries were, and yeah, we're deep in profit, guys. I hope you guys have learned something from the video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Cheers.